So down here, you may feel a little uncomfortable. Come down here, we like what we like. You like what you like. So make sure you pick a place that fit and make you feel comfortable and happy. All right, hope that helps.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer Now. Let's talk about the state of play of the American South in relation to the win by Zohran Mamdani in New York City. Now, you can take a look at this election from last week and you could see a couple of things. One, a blue wave. Two, a red bloodbath. You could pretend the election in New York City is the most important thing that's ever happened politically because it's going to basically show America what socialism will do when it takes over the financial capital of the United States of America, and some would argue the world. You could say that's the most important thing. You could also argue the failure in Virginia to hold on to the governor's mansion with a Republican replacing a Republican is a big issue, and not taking New Jersey is a big deal. That seems to be where most of the focus is. I think there are some other issues at play. In Pennsylvania, 3 Democratic state Supreme Court members were held on to. That's a real issue in the state of Pennsylvania. You also have some stuff happening in Georgia with the Public Service Commission and the way that votes went there towards Democrats. That's an issue as well, a sign, a bellwether that Republicans might want to pay attention. And then there's Mississippi, where the Voting Rights Act, you had some districts redrawn, and the Democrats there stopped Republicans from having a super majority in that particular state. Yeah, you could look at those things and make the argument that that's a big deal. Great, fine, wonderful. Don't even disagree with you all that much on those matters. But what happens next? Well, they're going to have to figure out how to make the argument of affordability. Like, that seems to be like the argument you're making. Why are things so expensive? Trump made a few mistakes in his election, talking about how he's going to bring prices down and stuff like that. What he should have actually promised, and it's not as sexy and maybe it wouldn't have worked as well, is say we're going to slow the price of goods increasing. We're going to lower inflation. That doesn't mean deflation. It just means the prices are going to go up slower at a more reasonable rate. That should have been the argument that we were making, and now there's a healthcare angle in the mix as well. But either way, there are some issues at play here with New York City, and let's go back to that are going to cause some problems here in the South. At least you might think that if you listen to some of the people on social media who are upset with the governor of Tennessee, who is making an argument that I think is pretty good. If you're a business owner, come to the state of Tennessee and take advantage of the great business environment.
Hey, everybody. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. In light of the recent election results, I thought it might be a good time to remind you that Tennessee is the best state in the country for doing business.
So who's he talking to? He's talking to business owners, and he says we're the best state in the country for doing business. Some of the response to this, like I mentioned before and showed you online, was a lot of, hey, he's missing the point. We don't want New Yorkers here. Well, you'll notice he didn't say, send me your New Yorkers. That's not what he said. He said, send me your business owners. And that's what he's talking about.
If you are a New York City business owner and you don't like the direction your city has headed, I have a message for you that Tennessee is open for business. We have one of the strongest economies in the country. We have one of the lowest tax bases in the country. We have a workforce that is ready for any industry, a workforce that is ready to meet the needs of your company.
So what's he asking for here? He's asking for employers to bring their businesses here. He's not asking for the bodega owner to pull up stakes and open up in Nashville. He's not asking for someone who runs a Chinese restaurant in New York City to show up in Chattanooga and open one. He is talking about financial services. And I don't think we're really talking about that much production and things like that. He's talking about bringing in people who make a lot of money in New York City that New York City is going to tax to the point where they want to leave. Well, bring those high incomes and those dollars and jobs here to the South, and we will enjoy them. And there's nothing wrong with this. Why people would be mad about this, I have no idea.
And our Department of Economic and Community Development is ready to help you make a move right now. In fact, Tennessee is one of the most moved to states for families, for people, for companies from around the globe, because we believe that opportunity and security and freedom are important for everyone.
All right, so he's making the argument here, very clear argument, that, yeah, we need to bring people into this area. We need to bring people here. We need to bring jobs. We need to bring stuff that is going to benefit your average Tennessean. It's going to benefit them, so we should have more of it. He's not asking for the homeless people on the street to come here. He wants the business owners to come here. And every single governor should be making this argument and calling for this in the South. And as he just said, the state of Tennessee is going to work to get you here. How are they going to do that? Tax incentives and things of that nature in order to bring your businesses here. Now, a lot of that is for businesses that bring in a lot of workers, and that would be like manufacturing. But you're going to bring your business here. You're going to open up shop, and you're going to employ the citizens. It's not about bringing run-of-the-mill workers here. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about bringing industry and businesses here. And he's right. We should want that.
We also believe in the power of law enforcement, by the way, and we understand that the men and women who keep our families, keep our communities safe, need to be supported, and we do so in our state.
Now, that is an interesting point. Now, he is making a point there that I think is pretty good. He's saying basically, look, we're going to make sure that the rule of law is protected here. We are not going to have chaos, and you can make the argument about immigration and all these other issues as well that are tied into this. But the general lawlessness of big American cities is a big issue right now. And if you're a business owner, maybe that is creating a bit of a problem for you. Well, in the South, we're not going to put up with that. Outside of our major blue cities where there's some lawlessness and things of that nature. But elsewhere, you have every good thing about living in America. Low taxes, good people, less regulation, and just, again, I hate to say this, I say good people, but nicer, kinder people as well. But there is some question about whether or not this is the best thing in the world for the South, because, again, there is some fear that maybe these people are going to bring their politics with them. And do we really want that? Well, the general consensus is no, we do not. We want your businesses. We want your money. But do we really want you to bring your politics here? Do I want you to California, my Alabama? No. Do I want you to New York City, my Tennessee? Absolutely not. Yes, we want you to come here. Yes, we want you to stay here. But just know, we're not going to change. Remember why you left.
I mean, y'all got a little annoyed because of what I said yesterday on my post about Mamdani and being the new mayor of New York City. And I told y'all, don't bring that foolishness down here. I was trying to help you out. I live in Georgia and I'm from Alabama. Alabama said they closed. And I don't want y'all down there no way either, because I like to go home. So there are certain things we appreciate down here and certain things we don't appreciate. So I was just trying to make sure you knew what to expect when you
I like this because she says Alabama's closed, and I constantly make that joke that we're closed for outsiders. But we'll make an exception if you're going to bring in business that's going to benefit us. That's the exception we're willing to make at this point. We're willing to look at you and say, hey, if you can bring something here that benefits us, great. But as she said, don't bring that foolishness here. So here we've heard Tennessee get mentioned, Alabama, and Georgia. We're okay with this. Come on down, but remember why you left.
Came down here, but I wasn't clear, so let me make myself clear. The things we love down here, we love God. We go to church a lot. We got a church on every corner. And the church across the street could be named the same name as the church across the other side of the street, all right? So just know that we got Lutheran, Baptist, Holiness, Pentecostal, Catholic. We got all of them down here. We love going to church every Sunday. Then we like to eat after church every Sunday. And we like Sunday dinner. We love guns. Everybody got a gun. So just trying to let you know, you never know who you're running up on. So be careful, because you got that concealed license. You don't even know they got it. So just
And I like the way she's framing this. She's explaining the culture to people that might think of coming here. Now, again, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, I believe, and she's directing it towards like the average citizen. That's not who's coming here. That's not who's being courted, not by Bill Lee or anyone else. They're courting businesses. They're not courting the average Joe. In fact, the average Joe, we kind of prefer they stay up there. And that's how your culture changes. The average Joe shows up and they bring their culture. You want the businesses to come, but you want your people to work in those businesses.
be aware that the pew-pew is on the side most times. Be surprised, a lot of us down here like Donald Trump. So be aware. That may make you feel uncomfortable. A lot of us like the Confederate flag, and we fly the American flag. Every house got an American flag on it. So you may not like that.
Now, the American flag part, yes, I'll jump on board with the Confederate flag part. Not so much. Not so much.
I'm just trying to help y'all out because Mamdani over there already asking for money. And it ain't been 24 hours since he been in office. I wasn't trying to stop y'all from being great. So down here, you may feel a little uncomfortable. Come down here, we like what we like. You like what you like. So make sure you pick a place that fit and make you feel comfortable and happy. All right, hope that helps.
I think it does help, actually. I think it's pretty helpful to explain to people exactly where everyone stands and what you get if you come to the South. So, again, there's a lot of people complaining about whether or not it's a good thing that we're enticing other people to come into the area, etc. The answer is yes. It's perfectly fine. That's not the issue. The issue is them bringing their politics here. So, again, don't California my Alabama. Don't New York my Tennessee. Come here and be a part of our culture. Bring something with you and understand why you left in the first place. Because if you come here and you bring that foolishness, as she says, we're not going to be too happy about that.